Now, let's move on to some other stories. Now, family members of the MP for Tarkwa Nsuem MP have fled the town of Dompim after several of them sustained severe machete wounds when they were attacked over the weekend. One person is said to be in critical condition following the violence. Mr. Duka has told Joe News a team of soldiers have been deployed to the town, but he's had to get his family out for their own safety. And the MP joins us on the line with more. Thank you for joining us this morning. First of all, our sympathies to you and the members of your family. We understand one person is in critical condition. Are you able to tell us the state of that person now?
Good morning to your parish viewers. He's doing well now. Doctors have been around him throughout the night, and he's okay now.
Okay. Do you have any reason to suspect this attack was for any reason apart from the known chieftaincy issue in the area? I'm asking this because we had indication from the police earlier that this has nothing to do with the chieftaincy conflict.
I'll be surprised if they do say so, but I don't have the expertise to determine otherwise.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say so. Practically, it's emanated out of the chieftaincy issue, and just those who unleashed that mayhem on my family belong to a faction feuding chieftaincy dispute. So I wouldn't say what the police is saying is maybe right or wrong.
Okay.
We have the professional expertise to determine. So I wouldn't go into details because I've handed over the matter to them to professionally handle it expeditiously. So that is all that I want from them. I want the truth to be brought up and the perpetrators also brought to book. So it's not a matter of, predetermining who did that.
Okay, but I just wanted to establish that you don't have reason to suspect that this has to do with any other issue.
I'm not ruling any possibility out.
Okay. You've been visiting these members of your family. Just also help us understand, is it that the people attacked in this incident happen to be members of your family, or there are other people who were attacked who are not members of your family?
Unfortunately, those that were attacked were all my family members. One was just standing in front of my family house. I have, I'm a royal, and we have about 3 family houses.
Okay.
And we normally do funerals in front of one of the family houses, and we call the place in Quantanan. So one guy was just a small boy was around holding a phone, and the thugs were misbehaving. And thinking that the small boy was recording them, he called for the small boy to bring his phone for them to glance through whether or not he was recording. So the boy handed over the phone to them. They went through, and then unfortunately pulled out a knife on the small boy. So,
how old is this boy, please?
About 10, between 10 to 13.
Okay.
So one of my nephews just said, "Why are you doing this to this small boy?" And that provoked them, and they pounced on him. That is the one in critical condition. A lady was also, just around and said, "What you are doing is not fair." And they didn't also forgive her. So that's how it started.
Okay.
And we've asked the police, they've arrested one of the guys who did that. His name is Dato, and he's in the police custody as I speak with you. But there are other 4 guys who have been mentioned, and they need to be arrested immediately. And they are around, and the police can really get them if they want to get them. And I believe they are also those that they followed to the funeral ground must also be questioned. There are people who have interest in that. Don't forget, just recently, my own palace was also burnt down by this same team. And we really need to up our game. So, I had to, even at that time, bring all my aunties and my grandfathers, because they were all living at the palace. I had to move all of them away from Dompim to hide them in Tarkwa, and I don't think it's fair.
So I get a sense from what you're saying that this has been lingering, and it's all coming from the chieftaincy issue. But how is that issue being resolved?
I was surprised that it got to that level, because the matter is before High Court.
Okay.
So why couldn't they even wait for the High Court to determine and so on and use the process? I just don't want to talk much about it, because the matter has been handed over to the police as I speak with you.
Okay.
And don't want to go into details of the matter. At the appropriate time, probably go on earth all the hidden agenda if there are.
Okay, but how are you doing? How are you keeping safe?
Oh, I'm well and speaking. I'm doing well. I'm safe. I'm well, and will not be distracted from what we are supposed to do as a member of parliament. We determined and resolved to go all out and campaign. We will not be intimidated in any way. We'll continue to sell out our message and the good works of the president to our constituents, and make sure we need to represent our people.
Thank you very much for your time this morning. Miracle Duka is MP for Tarkwa Nsuem, and he's just been explaining what happened over this weekend to members of his family. We wish them all the best and speedy recovery to the injured persons.